Hey, Keith and Kristin with you. Welcome to Be Monthly Live. Good day, Bartlesville. I am Keith McPhail with my wife Kristin, and we're here today at the Bartlesville High School field house. And we are so excited about this issue, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I am. I really am.
Oh my gosh. I'm probably more pumped up about this issue than I've been on any of the 26 issues that we've done over the last 2.5 years. So obviously we're Bartlesville High graduates. We're Bruins. We're not the Spartans or we're not the Call High, but when we did this cover and we had the idea for the feature story, which is our first 10-page feature story, so 10 pages of Call High and Sooner. So I cannot wait for you guys to pick this magazine up. So let's go ahead and premiere the issue. Here's the cover that we did. It is, everything in this cover is authentic to that period of time, the 15 years that the Call High Wildcats and the Sooner Spartans were rivalries here in Bartlesville. Okay, and you got to know something, guys. In 1970, there was 29,000 people living in Bartlesville, and we had 2 high schools. You'd never see that. You won't see it today in any city that small. So if you lived on the east side of the Caney River, you went to Sooner. If you lived on the west side of the Caney River, you went to Call High. And that's how they separated the city. So, but back then in the 70s, Phillips was really growing and really expanding. So they thought it was a need for to have 2 high schools. And we've got a lot of 15 years of history. Well, come on, what are you thinking?
So we tried to be as fair as possible.
Yes.
Equal, Sooner, Call High. And we heard a lot about, a lot of response already on Facebook from you guys. We put the cover out last night. And so please know we tried our very best. And we got lots of, like you said, these are all people's letter jackets, football helmets. You know, these are things that people loaned us that they've kept all these years, and now,
and look,
you know, yeah, it's still great to have it.
We have the actual first Wildcat.
So if you go to the high school where we are right now and you go up and you look inside the cabinet, you will see this mask in the display, which I bet you never paid attention to before.
No.
And it's from the
It's in the early 40s. I mean, Call High started in 1939. This is when the high school was built. And so early 40s. But it's made out of paper mache. Mm-hmm. Paper mache. I actually put it on my face.
No, we didn't.
I did. I actually did.
You're supposed to handle it very carefully.
I did handle it very carefully.
Which we did. We took very good care of it, and it's safely back where it's supposed to be.
Also, too, I want to talk about, we have Bob Frazier, who is out at Woolarock. This is his golf jacket when he played golf at Sooner. We've got Beth Beard, her cheerleading jacket. We've got also Green,
Charlie Green,
the late Charlie Green, who this is his helmet too, and it actually still has the mouthpiece in there. So he passed away as a senior in college, and his sister is really good friends of ours, and we graduated with Shelly, and so her mom and Shelly let us borrow that stuff, and we're grateful for that. So thank you guys for that. Yeah. So, okay, here we go. So also, Mr. Mike Wilt wrote the feature story, and he did an incredible job. And he interviewed, I think, 12 to 13 people to get the feature story. And that's why we really made it more than 8 pages. We made it 10 pages. But also, Mike wrote the 7 overtime basketball game, which is phenomenal. And so the history, I'll tell you a little bit about that history. It was the longest, about 25 years, it was the longest high school basketball game in Oklahoma. And it's still the second longest. There's one that's longer now, but we held that record. Call High and Sooners 7 overtimes. And
you'll know a lot of the people in that story.
Oh my gosh.
That have businesses here in town today. It's a great story, and I think they're very proud of the part they played in that game.
Mr. Robert Hughes, I won't tell you more than that. Mr. Robert Hughes missed a shot, and then Mr. Dan Kelleher made a shot.
Never mind. Sorry.
So, anyway, hey, it's not the story. There's so much more to it.
Anyway.
So also, too, you want to talk about, we've got our profile, Miss Jane Sears. Okay, everybody knows Earl Sears, and I think everybody knows Jane Sears. If you went to Bartlesville High School in any fashion in the last 30 years, you know Jane Sears. Wonderful woman, and we did a profile on her, and we're so excited about that. What else?
We talked a lot about the scholarships available for graduating seniors. There's a lot of scholarships that kids don't know about. They're not taking advantage of, so we try to lay that out very clearly so you can see what scholarships are available, get that information, get that in the works during your school year. It's kind of a little bit of a job, but it's totally worth it. So I think the parents will be...
Yeah, parents, you need to get your student to go talk to the counselor. There's so many things out there for kids to get help for school, for college. So
we have someone new writing for us too.
Yes,
started this issue. He's doing the good word this issue. I guarantee you, read the story, the good word, and you cannot tell me that Bartlesville is not the center of the universe. That's all I'm going to say.
It's so good.
It is such a good story, and you can't make this stuff up.
And it's Mr. Brent Taylor.
Mr. Brent Taylor wrote the story.
Holmes.
He's going to start writing for us every month, but it's amazing. I love stories like that. When people tell us those stories, and then also. We talk a lot of sports, this issue, and then
Mr. Joe Gilbert. So anybody that's lived for the last 70 years in this area knows Joe Gilbert. He's the coach at Barnstall. He's coached every sport over there. If they had croquet, or cricket, he would coach it. So he would. Well, they don't, but if they did, he would coach it. So he's won state championships in girls basketball, girls softball, slow pitch softball. What an extraordinary man. He's also in the National High School Hall of Fame.
He's coached for 65 years.
Yeah, 65. I hope to live to 65, and this man's been coaching. And he told us, he said, I'm going to coach another year, but I'm only going to coach one sport. So,
as if that's kind of retiring. I don't know. One sport only. I think he's coaching softball.
Yes, he's coaching softball. So look, we're double pumped up about this issue because we've printed 1,000 more than we usually do because the buzz around this issue is incredible. And I'm telling you, if you don't get your issue within the first 8 days, you're not going to get one.
So everybody that messaged us on Facebook last night and this morning asking us to please, how can we get this and make sure we get it? Can you mail it to us? They're in North Carolina. They're all over, not in Bartlesville. Please contact one of your friends if you want to get it that way. Of course, you can always get a subscription or go online and look at it for free.
We can't mail out hundreds of these magazines, or it's impossible. So anyway, text one of your friends and have them send you one. So look, these will be out tomorrow afternoon, and they're all over the place. So if you eat, sleep, drink, or bank, or shop, or whatever you do, they're there. So go get your copy because I promise you they will be gone. Okay, let's see let's get this show rolling. I love this place here. I didn't play basketball in this field house. I played in the old field house, and that's where you did your palm, not cheer. Let me get that right before I get slapped. But also too, it's a classic over there. But this place is kind of like the Palace of northeastern Oklahoma when it comes to performing arts and for the field house. So thank you, Spence Rigdon, for letting us come here and be a part of this place. Okay, so our first guest today, we've got some great guests today. We've got Daniel Johnson and also Kristin Kurd with Samaritan Counseling, and they're going to be here to talk about
Sports Spectacular coming up. Their big event, their big fundraiser, and you guys want to be sure, and we'll get the information from them. But two, check your last month's issue, and it has all the details and how you guys can help support that, because that helps them get the money they need to help those people, help fund some of their clients and that type of thing, which they can tell us more about. Yeah,
the history behind this place is incredible. It started over there on Oak Street, and now it's done so much stuff for so many people. Also, too, we've got Kris Cordero. So I've known Kris for a long time, known his brothers for a long time.
And his dad.
And his dad. We've known the whole family for over 20 years. What an inspirational man this is. I mean, for what he went through, when he broke his neck wrestling until today is amazing. And if you don't feel like getting out of bed because you're tired, then wait till you hear this guy's story. He's also going to be on Channel 6 here in about 2 or 3 weeks, so we wanted to get him in here and interview him. So amazing man, and I can't wait for you guys to meet him. So let's go over here and talk with Daniel and Kristin and get this show going. Today with Daniel Johnson and Kristin Kurd from the Samaritan Counseling and Growth Center. So hey guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Okay, so you guys have a thing called the Sports Spectacular. Let me get that out. And we did a story on that in our last issue, our July issue, and it got a lot of great response. So tell us about what you guys do, first of all, at the Samaritan Council. What do you guys do there?
Well, appreciate having us.
Oh,
it's great to be here, but we're both on the board at Samaritan, and we are a faith-based counseling center, so there's not too many of that around this area.
Awesome.
So we can integrate faith into your counseling. And we counsel a wide range of people, adults, couples, children, people dealing with anxiety, depression, all kinds of stuff. We counsel people. So we're a United Way partner agency, so we are blessed to get help from them. So we have several different programs that we subsidize people who can't afford counseling. So we never turn anyone away, no matter what their financial or what they're dealing with. So we can always find a program for them to subsidize their counseling. So it's a good deal.
And it's been around for a long time. I mean, this has been around for a long time. It started over on Oak Street as I was reading the story and getting involved more in what you guys are doing. I love that. I love the faith-based, and I'm very transparent about my faith and my walk and my journey that we've gone through. And so praise the Lord on that. And so tell us, what's the Sports Spectacular? What are we going to be seeing? I know we've got some big speakers. Bill Snyder, I'll just go ahead and say it. Bill Snyder, coach of Kansas State. Is he coaching again this year? He just comes in, he leaves, comes in, leaves.
So we have a great caliber. It's awesome to see them coming to our community to speak.
Yes.
It's something that people won't want to miss for sure. So Bill Snyder, award-winning Hall of Fame coach, former Kansas State University head football coach, and then he is going to be accompanied by Wyatt Thompson, who is an award-winning sportscaster. So he is in his 17th year as the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. So.
Bill Snyder, he's caused OU a few problems back in the past. I can tell you that for sure. Well, I hear he's a great speaker too.
Yes,
a great motivational speaker.
Yeah, they'll both be speaking together, and we'll have a chance for some Q&A as well. So I know we have a lot of sports fans in attendance, and so I'm sure they'll have a lot of questions.
Okay, so the event though, it's pretty casual. You wear your favorite team.
Sports attire. So
Yes.
you'll see, sports colors or your team. So whether that be your university or Bruins, pro team, you'll see it all. So
That's fun.
Well, listen, the seats are $30 for a seat, and that's pretty inexpensive to see someone like Bill Snyder speak. I can tell you that right now because he is an incredible speaker. And okay, so real quick, how many lives do you guys touch every year? I mean, how many people do you guys help, families or individuals, with your counseling?
Not sure on the exact number on that, but one of our things that I love so much is that when we end a board meeting, our executive director usually tells a story about someone that the center has helped. And one of the things that our motto is you talk, we listen, and life gets better. And that's no matter if we're a board member or our staff. We have such a fantastic staff, or our executive director. That's the bottom result, or that's the end result that everyone wants, is we want life to get better for people that are hurting and coming in and need counseling.
And that's just like what you say all the time when you write your stuff, or we talk to different people, even if it helps one person, it's all been worth it. And so you're doing just hundreds of people, but know that daily you're helping one person at a time, one family at a time, and that's what makes Spartansville
spectacular.
Better. Yes, that's right.
It's awesome. I mean, when you touch one person's life, you sometimes will touch generations on down the road, and so I love that. And
we're proud of you guys. We're thankful that you're here in our community doing all this.
Yeah, and it's the 13th annual. It's going to be at the Hilton. Is that right?
Hilton Garden Inn.
Yes, Hilton Garden Inn.
Next Saturday at 6 p.m., August 10th.
So how late can they get their tickets and where are they going?
Yep, so we, good that you brought that up. We are actually full, so we are sold out, which is great. However, I will note that we have a wait list. So if someone backs out, is not able to make it for whatever reason, we have a wait list so that we can contact.
So now what if they want to go back and they're like, oh, I didn't see that story or whatever. They can go back and get your story and they can still make donations, right? If they just want to get in touch with you, it'll,
Yes, so
there.
We have our webpage is still live. You can read about the event, about the speakers, and also donate. So supportsamaritan.org is the webpage. So you can go there, make a donation. You can make a one-time donation or a recurring donation.
Nice.
So.
Well, you guys are doing a great thing and that's why we put making a difference here for the tag on the story, because you guys are making a difference. And it takes things like this in Bartlesville to make this community, which I always call the greatest little city in America. And listen, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And hey, guys, support them. And if you guys need help, get in touch with them. They're out there for you guys. So we're here today with Mr. Kris Cordero. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
This gentleman, if you don't know Kris, we've known Kris's family for over 20 years, and what an amazing family. Your dad, who is Sal, who owns Sal's Daylight Donuts, incredible man, incredible journey that he went through to get here to the United States and raise such great family. Your brothers are awesome, and we just thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Now, as you can see, Kris is in a wheelchair, and I bet you he doesn't choose to be in that. But you want to tell us kind of what happened with you, Kris?
Sure.
What caused you to be where you're at today?
Absolutely. So, growing up, my family, we were all about sports, football, wrestling. That's what we did. And so, at that time of my life, I was wrestling for the Bartlesville Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Yep, go Bruins, right? And so wrestling was life. And we had a 3-day tournament in Sapulpa. Went to the tournament and did well enough to place in the finals match. So we had a little bit of a break. It was a long tournament, and we were already exhausted as it was. So go in, never wrestled this guy. This young man was from Lawton, Eisenhower, Oklahoma. He wrestled for him. He was a senior. I was a sophomore. But I've never been the kind of person that's intimidated.
Right.
Just when you wrestle heavyweights, you're like, it's just another big guy on the block. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep. Now, what year was this?
This was January 15th of 2000.
2000. Okay.
So left that day, normal day, ready to go do what I do, and so ended up wrestling about 9. It was the accident happened about 9 o'clock at night, and so never had a conversation with him. We weigh in. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, and so I go out there, and I knew this guy was much bigger than me. So he weighed in at 275.
Wow.
I weighed in at 256, but just because you're 275 doesn't mean that you're super strong or whatever. Right. But I knew that he was dense, and it would take a lot of work to do what I have to do. So we went out there, and anybody who's familiar with wrestling, you go 3 rounds, and in the first round we just battled back and forth and ended up stalemate. And so I knew that from the very first minute that I wouldn't be able to pin this man. Like, he was a large man. And so when you see the interview later on, you'll see how big he is compared to me. And so we ended up stalemate, and in wrestling you have like a color band on each ankle. And so if you end up being stalemate, they'll flip a coin, and whoever can choose the bottom position, the person has to keep them from escaping and so forth. And you're allowed so many points and that kind of deal. So I knew in my heart, I'm not going to pin this guy, and I got to escape, get 1 point, hang on for dear life for the next 2 rounds, and then survive, and a win's a win, right?
It's kind of like jabbing and moving.
That's right. That's it. It's all about tactics at this point. So I chose down because being light, I know he's bigger, but usually my experience with bigger guys, they gas pretty quickly. Escape, get out, get away from him, and there's that 1 point. Like I said, hang on for dear life. So we go to this tournament. My mom's there, my sister's there, my grandma's there. Brother's reporting on the side of the match. My brother was kind kind of like my right-hand man with wrestling. So we always, we drill before, we had practice together, we worked out together. And so for some reason, we're too poor to afford a camera. We found a camera, and we had this incident all on video. So he's recording on the side of the event. I come up for the escape, and I was going to try to hit a move when he was hitting a move. And so I couldn't get up and away from him. So when I came back down, I was just going to try to like mule kick him off me and just try to keep going forward. In wrestling, they teach you, you do what's called an ankle pick. You grab their ankle and you drive it forward, the opponent. And at the time I was going to hit the move I was going to hit, and he ankle picked me and moved me forward. It was
A freak thing.
Yeah.
Freak thing.
So, yeah, so like my headgear, when it caught the mat, it stopped like a doormat. Like you ever seen a door stop and you can't open the door, and you're like, how's this little thing? Like, well, this big thing. And so once my neck, it caught, I basically face planted on my chest. And I remember hearing the sounds, the feeling, the pain. I mean, it was pretty bad. I knew it was bad.
Yeah,
so,
sure you did.
I mean, even when we did the interview with KOTV, he said he audibly heard my neck break, and that was in an arena like as big as this or bigger.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was definitely some force. So.
So tell us though now what you mean by when we did the interview. He said, because let's fast forward a little bit and go.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, that Lori Fulbright with KOTV Channel 6 is doing a kind of a mini documentary on you guys, on your story, and so that airs here at August 29th. So you guys watch Lori at KOTV Channel 6. So at that point, you guys, that was 2000. So we're looking at 29 years ago.
That would be 19.
Thank
So
you.
20 years in January.
20 years in January that happened, and so you guys finally met. Since that day.
Yeah.
Because you had never seen it. Like after that was over, I'm sure your world just spun out.
My world was completely different. I went, was inpatient at St. John's. I ended up going to spending 6 months inpatient, trying to learn how to breathe and just simply move again. And so at that point, this was about maybe 6 months ago, I've never contacted him. We never exchanged information. We never knew how he was doing. And I was like, I kind of got brave, and I was like, working in I work for a local community mental health facility, and probably out of the 100 people I see, 80 people that I see, I would probably say it's a fair assessment that 70% of the people are stuck on unforgiveness, and that is just literally wrecking people's lives. And I was curious. I talked to another clinician friend of mine, and she was saying I was like, with your caseload, what do you, and she said the exact same thing, and I was like, maybe I downplay my story a lot because I live this.
Sure.
This is just life, and people are like, "Oh, you do so great" and all this, but this is just life to me. You know? And so I was like, I wonder what would happen if I really created some content and then maybe tried to get a hold of him to see what happens. So I tried a few times, with social media and stuff to get a hold of him. Never did. And so I was like, I'm going to try it one more time. What's the hurt? Keep trying. Right?
Keep trying. Don't quit.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Yeah. And so I put a post out, and I have a friend who he worked for Facebook and all these places. He knows how to get a hold of people.
Right.
And literally within like 6 hours of my post, he messaged me. He was like, I found the guy you were wrestling with. I was like, are you sure? And he's like, I'm pretty sure, because he went as far as like contacting a guy in Kansas who was related to him who lives in Oklahoma City. And so he gave me like all of his information, gave me his Facebook, and I was like, okay, well, how do we start this conversation?
Wow.
It's time to get my little message together, like, hey, I think you were wrestling me when I broke my neck. So how's that go?
Yeah, I mean, how do you do that?
How many kids do you have?
Yeah, right? Yeah. So I sent that message out to him, and he responded, yeah, that was me.
Wow.
That happened, and I was always curious, like, what his perspective was, or how he felt about it, or those kind of things. And so, and part of this process of getting brave and wanting to get my story out to help other people, I sent a message to Lori Fulbright, and she's like, yeah, let's do it, right?
I love that.
And that's where it really took off, because I haven't been back to this arena since they wheeled me out on a stretcher. I haven't been back since that day. I haven't even seen him since that day. And so that was where the story picks up.
Yep.
We ended up meeting with the News on 6,
Yep.
getting together and making it happen.
Well, we don't want to spoil that for Lori.
Yes.
We do have
Yes.
thousands of people who do watch our show too. So anyway, you got to check that out. It's amazing. And how many surgeries have you had since that day?
That's a good question. Since that day, given like complications, all the things that go along with living the quad life, I've probably had over 30 surgeries.
Oh my Lord.
So, yeah.
So all those people out there that I talked about earlier that might have a little migraine headache, or you might have a little pain here and you don't want to get out of bed, or you don't want to go take your kids down the street. Are you kidding me? This man's had over 30 surgeries. He's never given up, never quit. I love the never give up stories. My story too with drug addiction. You just can't give up. You got to keep fighting forward,
right.
and God will bless you. And He's blessed you because this story is going to help so many people. And even you right today, you're giving back as a counselor. You're
Absolutely.
giving back to people. And look at you. You're moving your arms. You're moving your neck. You're moving.
Breathe on my own.
You breathe on your own. You don't have to have any kind of ventilator. I love that because there are people like you that have to have that
Absolutely.
still today. And so, what do you think? And for people out there, what's your message more than anything to people when it comes to just life?
Absolutely. I believe that God's called us all to something.
Amen.
And I believe that a lot of times people don't have the environment or whatever life situations or whatever terrible words are spoken into their life to identify their passion and really aim for excellence and repeat that process. I'm pretty confident that through my experience in trying to go from a sports career to what's that look like being a therapist, that if you can identify something that you're passionate about, you work hard and you don't quit, you can have literally anything you want in this life, including a career that's satisfying.
Yes.
And so for me, I think that's one portion of it, but I also believe that there's power in forgiveness and being intentional on your healing, whatever's occurred in your life. Because so many people have been through things, and it may not be a big deal to me or you or whatever, but it may have shipwrecked their life. And I think it's just so important to be intentional and that kind of deal. And even looking back at when I was able to identify what I was passionate about, it didn't matter that my hands didn't work, that I was paralyzed from my collarbones down, 10 years of education, and I made it happen. And I think that's another big part of story. If you can identify your passion regardless of your circumstances, you can really do anything that you want in this life. And the career and the path that I've chosen, it's obvious that I'm passionate about what I do.
Yes, you are. I love that. Bring tears to my eyes. I feel like I can go run through that brick wall right now.
Let's do it.
Josh, get ready, Josh.
I will right behind you.
Well, we've got a great story in the magazine about this, and it shows a picture of him in the hospital there, and
The sweet mama
with
right
the
there
sweet
with you.
mama.
Yeah,
Always praying for me.
Yes, she is.
I know.
Just an incredible story. Guys, when you get the magazine tomorrow, you got to go to this page and read about Kris and his story and his walk and where he's at today. And then on August 29th on KOTV Channel 6, Lori Fulbright will have that interview with Kris and get a little bit deeper into it. Listen, I'm so blessed to know you.
We kind of just went to church, I feel
I
like.
know, right?
I know, and I'm going to give an amen out there to that. What you do in your life is an amazing thing, and we're so happy to share it with so many people for what you've done, and I really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And I love you, brother.
Absolutely. Love you too, guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. So, okay, here we go. We're going to go back to our office. We have Luke Christenson, who is going to sing a little song for you guys today. We chose our office because the dynamics of the voice is so good in our office, and so we're going to go listen to Luke play the song, and we'll see you at the office. We're back here at our offices from the Field House. We've got a musical guest for you guys today, Mr. Luke Christenson. Luke, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you coming. Okay, so Luke, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into country music? How old are you? Family and all that good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 32, grew up in Pawhuska. My dad, when I was younger, played a lot of country music. So that's kind of what got me into wanting to play and having the desire to write.
Now, do you like writing more, or do you like performing? I mean, what do you...
Yeah, I used to do some performing, and then I got more into the writing. And then just here recently, people have been telling me there's no point in writing if people aren't going to hear it, sing it. So I'm back into the performing side of it.
Cool. So tell us about your family real quick.
I've been married for 10 years.
Nice.
I've got 4 kids, 7, 6, 4, and 2 months.
Oh,
So-
got a little baby, 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now let's have their names.
Hunter, Lily, Colt, and Ellie Mae.
Ellie
so-
Mae, stop right now. I love
This is
it.
when the pictures.
And by the way, I knew the real Ellie Mae. She lived in Tulsa, and my mom was good friends with Ellie Mae.
Different Ellie Mae.
Isn't it not different? I don't know. Ellie Mae's different. Okay, so anyway, now tell us what's going on with you in the next couple of months. What do you got? What do you got going on?
I'm recording a 6-song EP over in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
down in Texas, I guess. It's going to be coming out in September. And while I'm down there, about the time it's finishing up, I'll get to play at the TCMA the night before the awards. They're doing a deal at Billy Bob's. So I'll get to
Nice.
play there.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Have you ever been to Billy Bob's?
I have not. It'll be the first
It's big.
time ever even visiting.
Just
it.
jump on in. Yeah.
yeah, for
that.
sure.
I love that. So you have a album coming out. Is that what I hear?
Yeah. Yeah, just
And that's
6-song
gonna be a
EP.
6-song LP. Good. So now, what song are you going to be performing today?
The song is called 6 Years Today.
6 years today.
And you were instrumental in writing this, right? I mean, you had
Yes,
part of it, so-
and 50% on the writing.
Right.
part of it as well.
Nice.
Now I heard that this song was kind of canned for a while, put up on the shelf, and it was brought back and
Yeah.
breathed life into.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Walker Martin, started it years ago and didn't finish it, put it up on the shelf, and just kind of left it alone. And then this year, he and I, just this year, have written 10 songs or more together.
Wow.
And he pulled that off the shelf and said, "Here, what do you think about it?" And I just about 20 minutes. So,
Wow.
however, 20 years and 20 minutes it took to
Wow.
write it
I love
to
that.
finish
I
it.
love
So,
that.
That's your next song.
yeah, exactly.
Really. So, okay, that's the song you're going to be performing today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for joining us, and take it away.
Thank you. Screen door is broken, it's just hanging on, kinda like me. Since you've been gone, you're black cat lucky, that's what you are. Cut me so deep, but you don't see the scars. So I watched out forever, come and go. Girl, you moved on like an old north wind blows. I'm packing up my truck, nothing left to say. If it should have been, then it would have been. 6 years today. So I gotta keep moving and moving fast. Stay a step ahead of love that broke like glass. Your smoke and mirrors, your gin and lies. Girl, can you feel it's our last goodbye? So I watched out forever, come and go. Girl, you moved on like an old north wind blows. I'm packing up my truck, nothing left to say. If it should have been, then it would have been. Lovers say 7 is the cure, or 7 is the curse, but you beat them both for better or worse. And I guess it's a good thing you can't read my heart, 'cause I was okay with death do us part. So I watched out forever, come and go. Girl, you moved on like an old north wind blows. And I'm packing up my truck, nothing left to say. If it should have been, then it would have been. If it should have been, then it would have been. 6 years today. 6 years today.
about that.
Thank you. Thank
Great.
You.
So
Oh
good.
my gosh, that's
Love
great
that.
words. I love
Yes.
that. Great song. Hey guys, look now. Talk about your Facebook real quick now.
Yeah, Luke Christenson Music. We'll have all my information and a lot more about the recording and what songs, which that song's going to be part of the ones I put on the album.
We'll put that on the screen too, guys. Go check that out. Go follow him on Facebook. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. The back to school issue is going to be out today, so you guys go get your copies because they'll be out quickly. So it's the Spartans against Call High, and thanks for joining us. Have a great day and God bless.